Hi, I'm Debbie Cronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am doing a remake on a video that kind of went crazy today. So this is a project that I did with my team for our team project today, and if there was anything I could do wrong, I did it. I did it all wrong. So I'm going to try to redo this video and see if I can't get it right this time. So I do have one to show you. It's called a pop-up box, and when you pull this little thing, and this is part of the problem, I have all kinds of stuff on the sides, so it's sticking. It's not the easiest box to pull, but when it pops up, the greeting pops up, and when it's closed down, this greeting is supposed to lay down. So we're going to give it a try again. So I'm going to start with a piece of basic white. And let me just grab my measurements here. And then my paper trimmer. And I need my arm open on it. So I'm going to cut this basic white at 7 by 7 to start with. And we're going to hang on to that because we're going to use that for something else. And by 7. Okay. And then I'm going to score at 1 inch and 2 inch on each side. I was looking for my scoring tool because I like that a little bit better. Hang on, I'm going to turn some light on too. Grab a scoring tool here. Okay, so 1 inch, and this right there. And 2 inches. And you want to do it from each side, turning it each time, because then it will put any excess in the center rather than on the outside edges, and then your edges won't be even. And 1 inch. So I'm going to do this on all 4 sides. I prefer to use the 1 inch mark over here. To me, it's just easier. I can hold on to my paper better. I know where I'm going with it. It goes up against the top here better, whereas otherwise it kind of leans out. So I'd rather just do it and flip it around and then try to do it again. And there's my 2 inches. Okay, we're going to set this aside for now. And I'm going to take my scissors here, and I'm just going to trim right up those score lines. Now, I just picked a side, so that now I'm going to stick with that. So this will be the side that I do both tabs on. And then when I flip it to the other side, I will do it exactly opposite of them rather than next to them. And there's a reason for all that. A little bit of an odd, there. I'm gonna grab my bigger scissors. Okay. So I want to make a wedge in here, so I'm gonna cut a straight line and then cut a wedge. And here, I'm just gonna cut the wedge, and because I'm going to cut all of that off, except for the section that I want. Which is right there. Okay, now I'm going to turn around opposite side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, let's clear all that off. Okay, now, so I am going to use the new Christmas paper, one of the new Christmas papers, and mint macaron. So let's go ahead and cut our decorative pieces that are going to go on it. So for my mint macaron, I'm going to cut out 7/8. Whoops, that one's not in the groove. 7/8. And then I was going to cut that all at once. 2 7/8. And I need 2 of those. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut 7/8 an inch over, because most of what I'm doing is 2 7/8. I'm sorry. So that way I don't have to keep cutting that measurement. So, and then I'm going to cut it 15/16, which is the little mark right here just before the 1 inch mark. It's that last little mark before it. So I'm going to cut 2 of those. One more. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a piece at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8, it's 2 marks over by 2 1/8. Okay. So, for some reason I feel like there should be one more piece. Just checking this out. Okay. Yeah, there should be one that's 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. I just get that feeling like I'm gonna cut it, because I don't remember, and I think feels like there should be. So, okay, and all these measurements I will put on my blog, and I will check them all out before. It's funny because I don't see that on my list, but I'm pretty sure I needed one at 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, so now the DSP, the Designer Series paper. If you have a pattern that is directional, make sure that you cut it right. Mine is not directional. So my first 2 pieces, I'm going to cut, let's grab one long enough, and I'm going to cut these at 3/4 by 2. You know what? We're going to do the same thing here. I think this will fit my 2 3/4. Yes, definitely. So I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4 first. And then that takes care of that one measurement, so I won't have to keep cutting that way. And then this is going to get cut at 3/4, going this direction. And I need 2 of those. And then I need 2 at 7/8. And then I need 1, let's see, what else do I need? 2 at 3/4, 2 at 7/8. Where's my other 2? Did I not cut those? Okay, where's my other ones? I think I forgot to cut something in the, in this. So these, didn't I cut 15/16? Let's see what these are. Okay, these are 3/4. These are 7/8. What did I do with my 15/16? I thought I cut them. No, did I not cut them, guys? Okay, let's cut them again. If I already cut them, then I'll cut them again. because I need them. Maybe I started to cut them and change what I was doing. I did. Okay. Then I have these two for those. I have these two for those. So I should be good for right now. We can always pull the cutter back up, right? Oh, I know, one more thing. So I have this piece that I had left over when I cut my box. I'm going to cut that to 3 inches. Ooh, I pulled that when I cut it. It's always important that you start at the bottom and push up, just for that reason. So I'm going to hang on to this because I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 4 inches because it's a 1-inch strip. And I'm going to need a 1x4. And this is going to get scored at 1 11/16, which is just under 3/4. Oops, 3/4. Because 12/16 is 3/4. Okay. 2 and 2 3/4. And we're going to do that on both ends. Switch that around, and 1 11/16 and 2 3/4. Okay, there. Now we'll put that down for right now, and we'll work on this. So this is the outside of my box. And so I want to attach these, first of all, to their respective pieces of cardstock. Somehow I think this is the larger one that I'm putting on the, yep, it is. I don't know what it is with this box, me. We just don't work together. Okay. All right, on. Okay, and then this one will go on there. That's on as crooked as can be, isn't it? This thing is on so crooked. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip it over. First I'm going to pull that off because I don't want the extra thickness. And I'll just cut another piece. So. This might be 7/8. I mean 3/4. Just what I need for this one. It is, it's 3/4, so let me just cut that at 2 3/4. Okay. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now these are going to get attached to the box itself. And these are the smaller ones of the two that you cut. And they're going to get attached. I'm going to turn that, not to the sides that have the tabs, but to the sides that don't have the tabs. Just like that. And then this one is going to go right in here, no tabs sticking out, so the tabs are connected to the other part. And by no tabs, I mean they're not connected. This is not part of it. The tabs are here on these sides. Okay, so watch your pattern if you have a directional pattern so that it doesn't get, I'm crooked today. I am so crooked today. Okay, we're gonna leave it alone before I make a mess out of it. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach some tear and tape to the back of this. And I'm going to attach one strip in the middle of the second section here. And then I'm going to attach one strip at the top and one right in here. So I'm going to attach a ribbon there, and I want that ribbon to hold really good. And then on the rest of them, I'm just going to put the tear and tape across the top, across the top edge there. Ah, fingers are stuck. Okay. All right, so let's start with our ribbon. So the ribbon that I chose to use on this one is the braided ribbon, and it's mint macaron. No, it's just jade and gold. Not going to use that. That's way too bright. Let's find something softer. Okay, we don't have a current mint macaron, so I think I'm just going to go with this. So I want to cut this. First of all, I want a nice straight edge on the bottom to work with. And I'm going to cut this at 6 1/2 inches exactly. It's important that that's what it is. Okay, so then I'm going to peel off this center adhesive. And I'm going to start just near the middle of this and press it down. Okay, then I'm going to go around here and I'm going to put the end of this ribbon, I'm going to butt the ends together. I don't care if it's slack on the front, that's actually what I want. So I want to just put these two ends together like that and then press it down. And it's a little crooked, but you know what, that's life. So I just put that on the wrong place, guys. That's what I'm telling you. If I can do it wrong today, it is. It's wrong. Okay, this is the one that's supposed to go on. I hope you're not doing this with me. I hope you're watching the video first and then doing it. Okay, let's try this again. Because that would have ended up being on the back and the inside. Okay. Because the flaps are supposed to be in the way, and they weren't. Okay, so I'm going to attach this at the very end here, and because I've frayed that a little bit, I'm just going to press it down there. There we go. Now that leaves me a little pull ribbon, so I can pull my box open. Okay? All right, now we're going to fold this down. Wait a minute. Before we do that, we want to put our flaps in there. So let's go ahead and just burnish all these folds. Oops, I didn't cut that one off, did I? So we're going to chop that one off. Sorry about that. I left that one on for some strange reason. Okay. Okay, now we're going to attach this, the flaps. I'm going to put some adhesive on here, maybe. And I'm going to glue these in. And this ribbon will be much easier to work with than the last one I did because it's thinner. But I want to line that up just perfectly on the edge. Edge of the fold goes to the edge of the cardstock. I'm just going to hold that there for a minute. And it doesn't want to stay. And I had this problem earlier. It takes a while for it to set. It's liquid glue, it has to dry a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this edge. Just lining that up right with the edge. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other two on the other end. And actually, if I'd used tear and tape on these, it would probably be easier because I wouldn't have to hold them, they would just stick, right? Just hold that for there for a second or two. Oops, see, this end's already come undone. The nice thing is when I fold this all down, this front flap is going to adhere to those, it's going to bring in those two side tabs. So if I pull that down, because of the adhesive that I put on there, so now it's going to hold those in. They're just not in quite as far as I would have liked. So I think next time I do this, I will use either tear and tape or the Stamp and Seal Plus on this. So I'm just going to tuck this one in as well. And then, oops, no, I have to take the tear and tape off first. That works a lot better. Okay. Sorry about that loud noise. My dog decided he was going to express his opinion. He didn't like what I was doing, maybe. Okay, and then I'm going to take those other two off. Okay. All right, we have the bottom of the box is set to go. Okay. And you want these two smooth. You don't want any, they're the parts that's gonna slide, so you don't want anything to hang them up there. Okay. Now let's do the top. So for the top, I have these two pieces, which are gonna go on the sides. And then earlier today when I did this, I ran into a really big problem. I tried to die cut through a layer of extra thick cardstock, the Whisper White, the basic white, a layer of the color, and a sheet of the DSP. And guess what? It's way too thick. So we need to cut another piece of the DSP at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's perfect there. Okay. So this time I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to glue these two together. And then I'm going to die cut each of them separately. I'm going to die cut these two together and this one. So what I want to do is I want to create a hole right in here. So let me go die cut and I'll be right back. Need the die first. Okay, so I've cut this one. This is my top layer, and so because I want this to match this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up, and I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to just give myself some guidelines. So let's get it straight first, and just so that I know where I'm going to cut, right there. So let me go cut that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've discovered a problem with that. This, you see what happens when I line this up? I can't see it, and it's not on. Look at that, you have to go that far in order to figure that out. So this is not going to work for that. So what I need to do is take the piece I cut out, which is right here, and I'm going to lay that in here. And I'm going to actually I'm going to put it back in the die. That's what I'm going to do. Just kind of put it back in the die there. Turn it over. And now I'm going to center that and hope that it's right. Wow, this is not easy, guys. Maybe, let me see something. Okay, so maybe this is interesting. I don't think I've ever run into this problem before. Because the dies don't cut exactly along the edges, if I mark it like that, maybe that will work. Let's see how that works. Okay, I'm going to go try. Wish me luck. Okay, let's see how I did. Is it going to line up? It's going to line up. Look at that. Okay, so what you have to do is put your die back in your hole, in the hole, once you've done it. Center this, put the die back in the hole, and draw the line around the die, on the inside of the die. And then you'll have, and it wasn't exact. You see I had a line inside, but what I did is I just tried to center it on that line. So it's going to work okay. So let's just erase those lines so they shouldn't show, right? If I got it right, they shouldn't show. All right. So then I'm going to attach this to my card, and this is a belly band for the box, is basically what it is. My glue is very stingy today. There's something in it. It has a big clog. Okay. There we go. Because I want this to glue down really good. Because it's going to get pulled on. Okay. And I used the stitch rectangle die for that. That's what I used. Okay, let's go ahead and attach the designer series paper now to these. Just like that. And like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to burnish these folds. That one. I have a mark there from my die cutting machine there and there, and I probably should have done that before so that I was sure they were straight. Okay, so now I'm going to attach a piece of tear and tape across here. And peel that off. I like to hit it with my bone folder just because it makes it stick better. So when I pull it off, I don't pull the tape off too. And so I'm going to fold over the first flap and then just fold this at the second flap and bring it over and press it down. Okay, and there is my belly band for my box. So this is going to go in here. Believe it or not, there. It is a little snug. It probably could be a little bit looser, but it isn't. Okay, so now we have that 1-inch strip that I cut, that 1x4-inch strip. We're gonna bring back the die cutting machine. I think that's cute, just like that. I think just window sheet in there and put some treats in there. And so we're gonna bring back the die cutting. No, we're not. We're gonna bring back the paper trimmer. And on this, I'm going to score at 1 inch. Is that 1 inch? It doesn't feel like it is. 1 inch, 2 5/16, which is just over 2 1/4, and 3 5/8. My paper looks really crooked here. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. Oh, still hopping it. Nope, that's not gonna work, guys, I'm sorry. So is this 4 inches? This is a little over 4 inches, so I'm gonna cut a 1-inch strip off of this, because that's what we need. Okay, that's a better edge. That other edge was cut crooked. Okay, so we're gonna score at 1 inch. Let's move this. 2 5/16 and 3 5/8. Oh, that's not right. I know that one's too big. 3 5/8, isn't it? 3 5/8. Okay, that's 3 5/8. So this paper's longer than 4 inches. That's why. Okay. All right. So this is our mechanism to make it pop up. So I'm going to fold this one towards me. This one's going to go mountain, and this is a mountain. So I've got 2 mountains and a valley. Okay. So this is going to get glued to, let's take this apart. We're going to glue this to the back of here. And I probably should have done this when it was flat. It would have been easier, but it will work. So I'm just going to put a piece of tear and tape across here because the tear and tape is strong enough. And it'll dry right away and I won't have to wait for it to dry. The advantage. So when I put this in, I want to make sure that there is room on each side for it to move. So I'm just going to put this right in here. Just making sure that there's space on each side. Okay. Now, I did this wrong earlier. This becomes the front of the box, okay, once you do that. So, that is super duper important because you're going to put the bottom of the box back in And, whoops, put the front out this way. This is the front. The bottom of the box goes in. And you're going to attach this little flappy thing here to the inside bottom of the box bottom, just like that, okay? So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus because I used glue before and it was just trying to hold it long enough to get it to stay. It was not fun. So then I'm going to put this down here and I want to make sure that it's centered in the opening so it can slide freely. And then I'm going to go through the inside and I'm just going to press it together. There it is. So now when it closes, my greeting will lay down, and when it's opened, this is the hardest part, is opening it. There, it worked, guys. My greeting stands up. Okay, so now let's do our greeting. So for the greeting, I really like this piece that's left over. But I think we'll pass on it. I have an idea. Okay, so we're gonna need to cut another piece of, 2 pieces actually, of white cardstock. So I'm gonna cut one at 4 1/4. Set that aside. I mean 2 1/4, I'm sorry, 2 1/4. 4 1/4 would be totally off the page, huh? With this thing. And 2 1/4. And then I'm gonna cut one that's 2 by 2. By 2. That one's almost there, huh? And then I have a piece of the mint macaron already cut that goes in between. So let's just attach those 3 together. And this one I think I'll hang on to and not stamp yet because I'm going to do something else. So one of the new punches that just came today, imagine that, it's holly. So I think I'll punch a couple pieces of holly to go on here. Be interesting to see if that punched that out, but I don't think it will. Boy, I couldn't line that up. Okay, so we're gonna punch a little bit of holly and some berries to go on here. And it's actually a border punch. So let's pick up our holly. And I'm trying to think of the name of the stamp set that this goes with. It's Whimsy and Wonder. Whimsy and Wonder. Or Whimsy something. Whimsical Trees. Whimsical Trees. Let's do that. So what's in here? Oh my gosh, these cute trees. Look at these. Are these the most adorable little trees you ever saw? I think they're darling. I love them. I used them on something the other day and I thought, oh, they are so cute. Let's see what's in here that I can stamp. Wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. Let's do that. So let's go ahead and mount this real quick. So you guys know the new way to mount, right? So you're gonna take this, whoops, and I did it wrong already. I already did it wrong. So I'm just gonna take that and press it on here. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work because this side has to be, I have to think this through. Okay, if I pull this off, what I wanted to do is pull the whole thing off and stick it on here. So I've gone backwards already. Let's take our spatula and turn it around. Come on, spatula. And let's pick that up. Because I believe this side is the side that's, yeah, supposed to attach to the stamp. So I just want to pick that up and flip it over. Just like that. Now, if I pull out my stamp, sorry guys, you're supposed to take the whole thing out first and attach it to here. Attach it to the block. So then I pull out my stamp and I'm just going to stick it right on there. And see, I can see where my edges are, so it's much easier. Look at how neat and clean that is. I got it right on where it's supposed to be. So then I usually take mine and put them on my hands and it absorbs some oils and then it'll stick on the block and come off again. Okay, so let's use mint macaron or old olive. Grab those two. I think I'm going to do the old olive because it'll just be different. Because everything else is mint macaron. So I'm going to stamp this greeting. Oh, old olive needs re-inked. Yes, okay. So let's do the mint. Although the mint might not be much darker. That's a little better. And I'm going to put this down towards the bottom. And I noticed there was a line when I stamped before. So this edge you want to be really careful of. Just because you'll end up with a line on your greeting and you won't be very happy. Okay, so then I'm going to just go ahead and attach this now that I have a greeting on here. And I think I need some pink berries. So if I do these in the green in the mint macaron, then attach them with a glue dot. And then I need my berries, don't I? Okay, let me grab some pink. So I've got some blushing bride here, and I'm just going to punch this again and get myself some little dots that I can use for berries. Sorry about all that noise. It's probably the most noise on the video. I'm going to take one more and just tuck it up underneath there. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, we'll leave it alone. We're just going to add some berries here. Let me grab my little tiny ink bottle or glue bottle. And Anytime Now glue. It's a little bottle that I bought on Amazon that just okay, where's my silicone mat here? Let's get this over here, because this will come off of me and not stick to the mat. And I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to add a little bit of glue dots. There are a little glue here. Put that on there and pick it up. Okay, stay. Oh, guys. Some days are just like this. Oops, I lost the one in the middle, didn't I? It's stuck on my finger. Yeah, some days are like this. Okay. It's okay. You guys now see, this is not easy for anybody. It doesn't always work out, does it? There. Finally. Okay, they're on there for now. I don't know how long they'll stay, but they're on there. Okay, where's my lid? And let's close this up before I put my hand in it and then put it on my box. That would just be the grand finale. Okay, where's my box? Let's put that away. There we go. All right, now we're gonna have to get this glue out again, and we're gonna put some right here. And you wanna glue this just above the score line. This one down here. And so I'm going to push that, pull the drawer open so I can hold on to it. And so it's going to go, so it's just sitting on top of the box. So wishing you magic Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. Now in here, my thought was to cover some of the cute little, those little Hershey nuggets, and you could even cover them with this other paper, with the other side of this paper, or any other coordinating papers that goes with this bundle. And this is the Whimsical, and so that would be cute. And then you just pull this little treat, this little box, this little handle, and your box opens. And there you are. Thanks so much for sticking with me tonight, and I hope you enjoy this. If you make one, please post it so I can see it. I would love to see it. And until next time, thank you. Bye-bye.